Hi there, Serial Trader here. I got a request to do a Bitcoin update. So it's been a while since I've done any videos, and I don't plan on doing any on a regular basis anytime soon, but I will still occasionally respond to requests. So with that, let's see what Bitcoin's doing here since last time we checked in on it. So I believe the last time I discussed Bitcoin, we were either at or near this proposed wave 4 low, which ended up occurring in November of 2022, so over a year ago at this point. And we never actually did get the 4-1 overlap, so we've retained the ingredients for a non-overlapping 5-wave sequence to the upside, which does not appear complete. So given that, we'll have to assume that this was an ABC expanded flat with a very severe 5-wave move down for the C wave of this wave 4, okay? And now we're just going to keep things simple on the monthly chart, and we're only going to be working things off of our December of 2018 bottom. There's bigger picture, analysis that can be done, from Bitcoin's inception, but I think for all intents and purposes here, just focusing from that December of 2018 low will do us just fine. So there are actually a couple of viable scenarios. So the first one that I presented here is that we're now in the fifth wave up, obviously not completed if that is going to be the fifth wave up of that entire sequence from that 2018 low. Okay, and I've just put up a relationship here. We are in log scale. Just keep that in mind. So on log scale, a 618 relationship of the entire distance traveled from the origin of wave 1 to the extreme of wave 3, projected off the low of the wave 4. That brings us to 99,125, so around 100,000. Now, Bitcoin, once it really gets going to the upside, it almost always smashes, conventional upside targets. So I would view that as kind of like a minimum, like 100K plus is a minimum if we are going to make this fifth wave up. And in that case, you just want to be holding on for the ride here, for several months to come at least, many months to come before we get there. Now, let me give you another scenario, which I just can't discount it yet, and that is where we do this. We did a 5-wave sequence up here. Now I don't like this because the fourth wave is so short in duration and severity compared to this second wave. But let's just pretend or entertain the idea that we actually completed a 5-wave sequence here at the top in November of 2021. This was a 5-wave sequence down, right? Which degree do we want to be on here? That's probably good. 5 down. And now we are doing an A wave up. Or sorry, 5 down for A down. Now we're doing a B wave up. Let me just get some labels on here to start making sense of this. Okay, that's starting to shape up. Okay. And what do we have for relationships between A and C? Let's put on the equality relationship. Get rid of that. Okay, so equality between this A and C, if we are just doing an ABC up from this initial 5 down, that gets to around 49,416. That's also close to a prior resistance level here on the monthly, which is 48,192. I'll just mark this with a horizontal line. Okay, so perhaps we continue up. Where are we at now? 41,397. So we're a little above 41K. Say we get to 4950K by the end of December, early January. The ETF gets approved, and everyone sells the news, and we start a C wave down. I'm just throwing scenarios out there, but you could see that kind of thing happening. We know historically that Bitcoin often has important tops or bottoms around December or early in the new year. So from a timing perspective, this kind of jives, right? Um, Now let's just assume. Hang on, let me get this situated a little nicer here. Now let's assume that okay, yeah, we got the 5 down for A. We're gonna do ABC up for the B, and let's say we get around that 49K mark, and an AC equality relationship projected off of that would bring us down. Oh, let's see here, 11,256 or so. Okay. Um, and then in that case, overall, it would still be bullish, but there'd be a much more severe and longer lasting pullback still in store before we finally actually get going to the upside in a meaningful way. And to me, you can't discount this scenario. I wouldn't necessarily call it my preferred scenario or my favorite one that I really, have a high conviction that's going to happen, but I think you should be aware of it. And if we get out of log scale for a moment here, and we go to the ATR channels. So on the monthly ATR channels, we can see that often, other than during this exceptionally strong period, once you get around to that +3 ATR channel on the monthly, that that usually provides some pretty good resistance. Often marks a topping area, and that +3 monthly ATR channel is right around that 49K mark. So there is certainly a technical area of interest for multiple reasons around that 49K area. Okay, let's just get rid of this. Let's go back to log scale. Okay, I will also mention how we're doing for RSI. So monthly RSI, we're nowhere near overbought, obviously. But on the weekly, we're pretty extreme. We're at 80, a little over 80, although there's no divergence. So we can see previously when we could get really overbought on weekly RSI, and yeah, it pulled back a bit from there. But until we actually got the pullback and another surge higher, and with a lower high in RSI, like that bearish divergence, you didn't really get a top until you had the bearish divergence here. Okay, so you can see major bearish divergence on the weekly RSI there, higher high in price, lower high in RSI, and then finally got the big move down. So right now, we're just making new highs in RSI, no divergence at all. So that's kind of a positive that the top is not at hand just yet, if it's coming. Okay, back to the monthly chart. Still in log. Yeah, okay. So what do you do with that information is the question. So if you're holding a longer term Bitcoin position, you're probably feeling a lot better than you were certainly earlier this year even. Now, do you sell in anticipation that this is just going to be a ABC up, and then hope to buy it back lower, and then if it goes up, despite that, and we're actually in that first scenario where we're in the fifth wave, 100K plus, you're going to feel terrible about that. So I will suggest that you potentially hedge. Say we get up to 49K and we start hesitating, start looking like we're putting in kind of a distributive looking top. I would suggest maybe don't sell, but hedge. You can go into something like BITO and buy some puts, hedge your Bitcoin position. Even if you want to hold your actual core Bitcoin position in a hardware wallet, self custody, you can still simultaneously just go into your brokerage account and hedge that position, to your liking with BITO puts. Buy puts 1 year out or something at or slightly out of the money, and then okay, if we do get this big C wave down to 11K or less than 10K or whatever it ends up being, if we get that, those puts will perform exceptionally well, hedging your overall position. You can close those puts, hopefully near the lows, put that new capital back into your actual core Bitcoin holdings. Now all of a sudden you have way more Bitcoin holdings. You've protected your capital, and then the next wave up, you're just looking better than ever with that larger Bitcoin position from those put proceeds. Or say the market just keeps going higher, we get to 100K plus wherever we top out. You sell a good amount or all of your Bitcoin at a nice high price that you're satisfied with. Okay, the puts expire worthless, so they were a loss, but overall you still did great on your total position, right? So to me, hedging at this interesting technical area around 4950K, to me that will never be a regretful decision, because if the market just continues going up, great, you're still benefiting with your long position. If the market turns down, you can be very happy about those puts. And if the market just freezes in time for months on end and just goes sideways forever, not forever, but sideways for a very long time around 50K, that's probably the worst scenario as far as your puts, but still not that bad. Okay, you lost some money on the puts, but your overall position is still just hovering around a pretty good level at 50K. That's not likely. It's you know almost impossible that that's going to happen. But I'm just trying to describe that in a variety of scenarios, hedging at that important level, I don't think it's going to be a regrettable decision. Let's just put it that way. Now, yeah, I suppose I could do some shorter term analysis here. So, okay, let's clear a few things up here. Now, let's pretend that no, we're still on the idea that we're in that fifth wave up now. So, given that, let's go the weekly. And we are on log. Should I maybe take it L log? Let's try this. So let's just do some wave count work here. So we got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. So let's call this our initial 5 up for wave 1, our ABC flat 2, and then we are working our third wave to come here, right? Now, if this is a third wave, I mean, we got to just absolutely explode here, right? Real third waves in Bitcoin are always highly impressive. But I want to go on the daily. And let's really drill down on this move off of our proposed wave 2 low there, okay? So I'm seeing like a weird looking first and second wave. I think if you look in the futures, this was actually new low. So maybe just to keep things simple, we'll go, this is our low. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, and now we're working our fifth. So let's really dive into this. That's our 1, 2. 1, 2. We just got to get our labels out here. I'm going to need at least 3 sets of impulse labels to try and deal with this. And we'll just drop the degree each time. Sort them out after. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Drop that degree one more time. All right, let's try and reconcile this. Because until you have a wave count that you can consider complete or mature, you shouldn't really even be looking for a top anyway. So let's see if we can at least make the case for that situation. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be 5 of that 3. Let me just solve the puzzle here. So bear with me. Okay, so that would be the 4. That would be the 5 of the 3. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 3, 4, 5 of 3. And then I think we have a nice looking triangle here. So we got like an A, B, C, D, E wave 4 triangle. And triangles precede the final move in a sequence, so that's a little bit of a warning sign here. And you expect an explosive move out of the triangle, which is what we're currently getting. So now we're looking for the 5. So now let's go on the 4-hour chart and really work on what's happening since this wave 4 triangle launch that we started here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's probably good for 5 up for our 1 of the 5. And then we got our 2. And then we got 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the... Okay, let's just get these out here. And which degree should I be on? Let me go to daily. So we're working our minor 5th wave, so we're working our minute subdivisions of the minor 5. Okay. I would say this is the 1, 2 of the 3, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 3. So we're in like the wave 3 of 3 right now. I guess I'll display that. Let's do that. So 1, 2. Drop that degree down by 1, 2. I won't label the degree lower than this, but you can see for the wave 3 of 3, we got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the wave 3 of 3. So we're probably looking for a wave 3 of 3 top here. Then we'll need the 4 and the 5 of the 3, and then a 4, and then a 5. Okay, so I guess what I'm getting at is we can't count a completed impulse wave out of this triangle launch yet. So there's definitely on a short-term basis, you know, next probably even few weeks, probably the month of December, I'm thinking, there's still further subdivisions needed to the upside to complete this. I think even in... Now let's go back to the monthly chart here. Go back to log scale. Let's clean all that short-term stuff up now that we've gone through that. I think even in this scenario where we're already in our, you know, strong 5th wave up that's going to make new all-time highs, I think even then, whenever we peak out here, I'm thinking late December, early the new year, we'll have some sort of a pullback, okay? It might just be a little minor fourth wave for intermediate 5. Yeah, I think basically a top of some magnitude, we should be looking for that late December, early January, and that's right around all the leaked dates. I think early January are the leaked dates for the ETF approval. You know, for the U.S. domiciled ETF. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's, you know, anticipating that. So it'd be a classic sell the news event. We've seen that before across various markets, including Bitcoin. It would just jive so well. Now, whether that means that this would just be an ABC up and we're just tanking down to, you know, around that 10K level over the course of at least part of 2024, or whether we just get, you know, a relatively mild pullback, although it could still be a pullback from like 50 to, you know, somewhere in the 30s even, high 30s, mid to high 30s, and still be just a normal 4th wave pullback within an ongoing 5-wave advance. So yeah, that's my current take on what I'm seeing on Bitcoin here. I don't know if you want to... I'm not even sure who watches these videos at this point since I haven't posted for so long, but if you want to comment, chime in what you're thinking, or if you like what I'm throwing out there, and by all means go ahead. I will still respond to comments when I get around to it. But yeah, bottom line, I'm thinking ride the wave up, certainly during December into the end of the month. Early in the new year, I'll be looking for a top of some magnitude and potentially a major one, depending on whether that more bearish scenario is going to play out or not. The same almost kind of goes for the broader markets, although there's some nuances involved there, since they're much closer currently to their all-time highs than Bitcoin is. But I think the same kind of scenario can be applied there. But maybe that's an idea for another video if I get around to it, or if anyone wants to see my current stance, you know, on the S&P 500 and that sort of thing. All right, that's it for now. Serial Trader signing off.